Well, today we're not going on an adventure. We are staying home. We're going to be installing a Warren Stock Plus trans on a friend of mine's truck. His trans is basically smoked. It'll barely go into reverse, barely go into second gear. So, really nice unit. Apparently it can hold about 450 horse. I personally think it can hold more than that. The stock unit, well, technically I guess it's only rated for 325 with the crank, but a lot of people will say it'll hold 5 to 550, depending on who you ask, and I think it depends on how healthy the trans is as well. But this truck, it's only tuned, so I think the Stock Plus it'll handle everything and it'll throw at it personally. So yeah, it's got a go-run converter and some upgraded clutches and stuff. Go-run converter is super nice. Warren, I mean, they're probably one of the best in the business as far as Powerstroke transmission goes. We do a lot of them at my shop as well. Sam Weiss, Warren, my friend here, he provided the transmission. So I'm just doing it at my house, and it's going to be kind of a DIY video, sort of. I'm going to try to show as much as I can, taking it out, putting it back in, go on a test drive, and just kind of show you guys how the truck shifts and everything else, and just kind of the whole process of how I do everything. And so yeah, hopefully everything goes good. I'm gonna pull the trans out, and then I'm gonna show you guys the trans and what it looks like. It's a beautiful unit, and hopefully one day I could get one for myself. I install them so much on other people's trucks. I wish I could have one for my personal use, but one day. Both my stock trans on both my trucks, they're still going. And actually, speaking of stock transmissions and stock power, my 03, it's running probably about 550 horse. It's got 190s, but it is a newer unit and it's fine so far. Yeah, we'll see how long it lasts, right? Well, now that we got her out of the back of the truck, finally. Yeah, whenever I'm at the shop, you never realize how much you love the forklift till you're at home and you gotta use the cherry picker to get her out of the back. But we got her out, but here she is in all her glory, and you got the little cowboy riding the transmission on there. That's how you always know it's the Warren trans. This one's a red one. Usually the Warren trans are known to be green. This one's red, but looks amazing, of course. And then we got the go-run converter sitting in there. I love how they put these brackets in there so the converter is always nice and tight in there. And even when I'm about to put the trans in, I'll kind of grab the converter and turn it and make sure it's all the way in there, nice and tight. It usually pops in, I think it's 3 times. You'll see it kind of like go gong, gong, gong kind of motion. So we'll check that, and I'm gonna drain the fluid. I'll show you guys the fluid, and you can see how burnt it is. And yeah, we'll go from there, and hopefully everything goes smoothly. She's dark, and it's got relatively new fluid in it too. I'm pretty sure his clutches are smoked. So one of the first things I usually do is I get it up in the air a little bit. This truck's 4-wheel drive, so it sits a little higher, but I'm gonna get it up in the air front and back, just so there's enough room so when I pull the trans out, because it'll be sitting on the trans jack, so I have to kind of lift the rear of the truck to slide it out. So that's usually what I do first. Alright, so now I've got the truck up in the air. I'm going to be busting off the the driveline bolts, the 12.12s. This ratchet's seen better days, let me tell you. Alright, now we're going to do the rear ones. Alright, now the carrier. Alright, next the front drive line. Usually use a mountain wrench, but this thing, I need to get some new home tools. Oh, I'm going the opposite way, aren't I? That's why. Yeah. That ain't coming off with that. Alright, now that we got the drive shafts off, I'm probably going to start taking off the trans harness off the transmission. And normally I don't really have to take the drive lines fully off. I'll usually just kind of bungee it to the side right here, and then I'll take off the rear drive shaft and kind of bungee it towards the frame. But for the video, and just since I'm doing it on the ground, you know, it's always a little bit of a fight when you're doing it on the ground. When you got the truck up on a lift, you can kind of pull and push the trans back and forth with your legs, and it's just a lot easier when it's on a lift. So I just figure, since I'm on the ground, I'll just pull the drive shafts off and get them out of my way. So just so you guys know, there's about 4, well technically 5 sensors you need to unplug. There's one right here. There's one like right about here. There's the one on the transfer case right there. And this one. And then the main big plug is right here. There's a 10 mil right there. So that's pretty much all the plugs for the trans. And then it kind of, once you undo this, it'll kind of flop over, and then I always pull it back here and kind of let it sit back here, and I'll kind of tuck it up underneath there so when I'm pulling the trans, it's not in my way. And that's usually how I do it. So there's 2 holes to get the torque converter bolts out. Right here, and then right there. Sometimes it's a little easier to get them out from right here, I've found. You just have a little bit more room with like an extension and a ratchet. And if you're by yourself, I can get a, like, I believe it's an 18. I get an 18 right here, like a ratcheting open end wrench, and I stick it right here, and then I kind of hold my hand and feel as I'm ratcheting it and turning over the engine. But for today, my father-in-law, he's going to help me, and he's going to turn the motor over for me, so it'll be a little bit easier. And there's 6 torque converter nuts, and when you get the converter nuts off, you'll hear on the last one, when you get the last one off, the converter will actually kind of make a sound like a don't sound, and that's kind of how you know when it's off, or when all of them are off. All right, go ahead. What?
Too far?
Maybe.
Can we go back?
Sometimes you can't go back. Sometimes you can, but I actually no, that's good. This ratchet is a. No, it's a Cobalt. Alright, so, well, family came by for a couple hours, so I had to take a break for a minute. But, yeah, I got all the converter bolts out except for one. One is spinning and won't come off the stud because it's really annoying. So I'm probably going to have to drop the trans without the converter and then take the converter off the flex plate. Yeah, it's a little annoying. It hasn't happened to me in a while. Doesn't happen too often either. So, it'll probably make a little bit of a mess. All right, I got the trans all strapped up. I always put a strap just in case, because you don't want the trans to fall off the jack. So I always strap it to the jack. I've had a couple times, a couple close calls where the whole trans starts to go one way or another, or forward or backward or whatever. So I always try to make sure I strap it, and then I'll bungee the trans lines right here, either up against the downpipe, so we're not fighting that when we're pulling it out. And also I got to do the dipstick, the dipstick going down to the trans. You don't want to forget that either. After that, these bolts don't even feel tight. Probably when they have the engine out at some point. So there's the converter stuck to the flex plate. And of course I knew it would leak a bunch of fluid, which they always do. I was able to pull it straight back because the input shaft, of course, gets kind of hung up, but I was able to do it, and it wasn't terrible, but it's not fun. I don't like doing it that way, but we got her out, so now we just gotta pull her out. And yeah, swap transfer case, all that fun stuff over. So what it was, if you can see right here, it was just stripped since now that it was just completely stripped out and just wouldn't walk its way out. So finally got the converter off, and once there was like a tiny bit of kind of pressure on it, then it started to work its way out. So that's what it was. Either way, we got it draining so it can be shipped back, and there's not too much fluid in it. It's kind of usually what I do, and throw her back on the old unit. Now we'll start putting in the new one. Got the transfer case on her. Now she's finally ready to go in the truck. Everything's taking me a little bit longer to do today. Like I said, I had family over, all that stuff. I had to wait for my father-in-law to kind of help me lift it off of the crate, put it on the jack. So now it's nighttime. Of course, I gotta go to work tomorrow. I'm freaking tired. I worked all day yesterday for the most part too. So we'll see how far we get. I'm gonna try to at least get it in there. We'll see what we get, where we get. And maybe tomorrow after work, I'll probably finish the rest. I'm not in a huge rush, so it's no big deal. Well, she's in there, finally. About time. I'm probably gonna call it quits for tonight and finish everything up tomorrow. Blow out all the lines, all that kind of stuff, reload the tune. And yeah, I don't want to kill myself tonight. I don't care. Normally I would do that, but I gotta go to bed. If I stay up too late these days, I'm just dead the next day, and it's just not fun. So either way, no worries. We'll get her done tomorrow, and she'll be running real good. All right, well, round 2, second day. It's the second day. I skipped Monday because I had obligations to do. So now it's Tuesday. So we're gonna keep continuing on. It's about 8:30, so I'm getting a late start once again. It's kind of a pattern in my videos, it seems, that I'm always getting late starts. But either way, we're gonna get her done tonight and call her good, hopefully. But I just want to give you guys a tip too. Whenever you're putting a trans in, you can hear the converter. That's me moving it back and forth. That's a good sign. That's how you know the converter's in the right spot. So that's how I always know anyways. I always check. Obviously the go-ren's got the bolts right here. But like the regular like stock converter and stuff has the nuts, obviously. So you would just grab onto the stud of like a stock converter and just, you know, if you can feel it wiggle back and forth just a tiny bit, you know, you're good. All right, well, let's keep going and finish her up. Right there.
The weirdest freaking fan shroud. It doesn't blow directly on the motor, it blows just up around the motor.
Yeah, it works pretty good though. The fan clutches on these work real good.
So you'd think it just want to blow right on the motor, but I guess it just blows air all over the engine compartment.
Yeah. Yeah, it's one of the best fan clutches. So we got the trans cooler in, put the new front filter, blew out all the lines, connected the lines to the trans. We just got to add about 16 quarts. I usually start with about 16 quarts, and then there's usually about 2 quarts or so already in the converter itself. But yeah, we just did a stock trans cooler, like I was saying. No Mishimoto one or anything. He just wanted a new trans cooler in there just to make sure there's no debris or, you know, metal in there or anything. The fluid was pretty dark, but there was not really any metal at all, like in the front filter or anything. So I think we'll be good. And sometimes some people suggest to do like a new radiator and stuff, but he just got a new radiator, so I think we'll be fine. We got it blown out pretty good. But yeah, here's the new, kind of see it, the stock trans cooler. It's kind of tucked behind the AC condenser and the power steering cooler. But yeah, it's a little bit of a pain, but not terribly too bad. But yeah, we'll reload the tune, reset the cam, keep live memory. I'm probably going to have it up on jack stands and then in the rear, and then kind of just go through the gears. It's not super necessary, but I think for this time I might do that. And then yeah, we'll go out for a test drive. Hopefully everything's good and no issues. But I think we're gonna be just fine. Okay, so now we're gonna reload the tune. The first thing we're gonna do. And then we are going to reset the cam, check for codes. And then after that, I'm gonna go through all the gears and then we're gonna go drive. So we'll start doing that now. Let's see, return to stock, continue. All right, download complete. All right, so far so good. We don't have any transmission codes, so that's good. Just a glow plug code, which was there before, but no TCM codes, so that's a good sign. So I'm going to clear all the adaptive tables on here. I'm using Forescan, which is a super cool program. It's pretty much free. You just got to get the adapter off of Amazon and then just download it. Yeah, and I mean, I think the extended license is like $20. If you're mainly working on Fords, it's for a DIY guy, it's super nice. I mean, we use it at the shop too, but using it for like personal use, it does a lot of stuff. I mean, it even does stuff that the IDS doesn't even do. So anytime I do a trans, or even when I tune a truck, I'll go from reverse, neutral, and then I'll go to reverse again, neutral, and then I'll go from drive, neutral also a couple times. And that's like the proper way, apparently, to do a trans relearn. yeah, we're gonna go for a drive here in a second. The truck, when I first took off though, I took off just down the street and the truck just felt like it had no power, like no power at all. It was really odd. Like it almost felt like two wires were touching, or something weird going on. Like sometimes, you know, when like a exhaust back pressure sensor, like the pigtail, like the wires are touching, and it all of a sudden kind of makes the truck quiet, like the injectors kind of turn off. That's kind of how it sounded. I kept checking codes, there was nothing, and I'm like, man, that's weird. And it would kind of come back, it would have power and then not have power, have power, not have power. And I'm like, man, maybe this thing has no fuel in it, because this fuel gauge is really weird. It'll read full sometimes, it'll read nothing, it'll read half. And it hasn't ran in a while, like it hasn't ran in a couple months. He had it towed here, so I don't know, you know, how it ran before or anything as well. So yeah, it was real weird. So I kind of had to figure that out real quick, and I drove it to the gas station, put 20 bucks in it, and now it seems to be fine. So I think it actually just had no fuel. And I live on a hill, so maybe it was, I don't know, maybe it just wasn't getting fuel pressure. And I don't have my fuel pressure gauge with me, it's at work. So tomorrow I'm gonna check that, and yeah, just test drive it to work and see how it feels. But the trans, it seems to be shifting just great. So we'll go for a drive here real quick, and you guys can check it out. Trans temp's pretty good. Looks like it's staying cool, no problem. It's staying right around 145. Usually when you get on the freeway, it's about 145. But yeah, let's go for a drive. How the view is behind me. Pretty good? Of course it is, because we got the O3 right there. Just wanted to wrap the trans DIY video up, I guess, if you could call it a DIY video. But anyways, yeah, so I drove it to work the following day after I got done with it Tuesday night. And yeah, it was really weird how that power issue was. Well, it was probably about 11:30 or so, probably 11:30, 12 when I was driving it. I was tired because I started about 8:30, so just pulling out of my yard, everything, driving it around. It didn't really run good, like I was saying. Like it had a weird power issue. Even after I put fuel in it, it seemed to kind of go away, but something was still there messing with it. So I originally loaded the stock file on it because the following day, well, we live in California, so I had to smog it. And so I had to get the monitors to ready up. So I was just running it on the stock tune. So I think that kind of was messing with the EGR valve. So the next day when I drove it to work, I had ForeScan hooked up to it, and I was like, all right, I think this is an EGR valve problem. So he's got a functioning valve, he's got a bulletproof cooler on there, so everything's still functioning EGR wise. So soon as I got to work, or well, after work, I looked at it a little bit more, and it was definitely the EGR valve. It was weird because there was no codes or anything. It's got a federal file on there, even as a stock, like the stock file is a federal file. So sometimes they don't really throw codes for some reason. So put a new valve on there, tune the truck. Now it's running great, running smooth. Trans is running real good. He's running PCD tunes, or now, well, was TSD, now PCD. Those guys out of Canada, all the Canadians, man, and they're tuning. They've got some of the best tunes though. So yeah, now it's running really good. So I'm super happy with it, and yeah, hopefully you guys enjoy the video. It was kind of a long-winded video, a lot longer than I wanted it to be, but either way, we got it done. And sometimes after work, when I try to work on stuff after work, I'm just tired, so it takes a little bit longer. But let me know if you guys want to do more DIY videos like this. I can do everything step by step by step by step. I can do that. Just let me know. It's just a much longer video. And so this video was kind of just more of just showing the journey of how to put the trans in, sort of. But either way, just let me know. And yeah, I'll see you guys soon.